Welcome back, brothers and sisters. I am Braden. This is Langley Outdoors Academy, and thank you for stopping by. Alright guys, on this episode of the Bullet Points, we are going to dive into the uproar, the furor that is happening specifically online between different Pro 2A channels around the activities of Texas and Ken Paxton, the Attorney General there. Is he all of a sudden a turncoat and he's going against the Second Amendment? Or is he playing 4D chess to further the Second Amendment rights across the board? That's pretty much the two schools of thought that I'm seeing consistently. In this video, I'm going to break you down what's going on. I'm going to break you down at least from my perspective, and then we're going to move forward together. I'm going to say a quick word from a new sponsor, which I think you guys will really like, and then we're going to hit it on the other side, and I cannot wait to hear what you guys think in the comments field below. Historic mail is an amazing gift for that history buff or the person who's never been exposed to our rich history in your life. Every week, a letter is delivered to you or a person of your choosing from a historical figure, providing the reader with a rich thematic journey throughout the ages. Included is not only a text of the letter, but a copy of the actual writing, as well as historical context to immerse you in the writings of our founders. The American History Gift Pack that covers letters from 1776 with the founding of the Republic, with letters from Washington, Jefferson, Adams, and more. Take this excerpt from Thomas Jefferson, for example. A letter from you calls up recollections very dear to my mind. It carries me back to the times when, beset with difficulties and dangers, we were fellow laborers in the same cause, struggling for what is most valuable to man, his right of self-government. Now, we have been given a special landing page at historicmail.com/Langley, and make sure you use the code Langley for 10% off site-wide. Everything's in the description, and thank you so much to Historic Mail. Alright, so as I mentioned, there's a lot going on right now with the internet around the Second Amendment rights, specifically regarding Texas. Now, some backstory, and then I'm going to get into exactly what the two schools of thought are. First, you've got Ken Paxton, who is appealing a decision that we lauded on this channel. We were excited about this channel when 18 to 20-year-olds can no longer be discriminated against for their Second Amendment rights. That was a Pro 2A decision. We like that. But now Ken Paxton is appealing it. It doesn't make sense, and that's the biggest thing. Before I burn the house down, I'm going to make sure I completely understand all the whys and all the details, because legitimately, when something is this outside the norm and something doesn't make sense to this degree, I'm going to reserve judgment the best that I can until I get more information. But essentially, there's two schools of thought. One, you've got the idea that Ken Paxton is a really big turncoat and he's just going against the Second Amendment after we finally won, and he's basically coming back against all the gains that we got. Enter fire here. Then you've got the other school of thought, some other channels that are saying, no, this is actually 4D chess. Because if this goes down to the Fifth Circuit, or up to the Fifth Circuit, and then goes to the Supreme Court, all of a sudden that's a national decision and it affects the entire nation. There's pros and cons to both schools of thought, and I'm going to lay them out for you, and I'm curious to hear what you guys think in the comments field below, because like I said, this is a pretty divisive topic on a lot of videos that I've seen. But the source that I've got is linked in the description box below. Let me set it up from what this is kind of laying it out, and then I'll interject my opinions on it. Second Amendment advocates up in arms over DPS appeal with Paxton leading the fight. This came out on the 29th, which is yesterday. Okay. Texas Republican leaders and lawmakers are being characterized as anti-gun stooges by Second Amendment advocates in the midst of a court fight that the Department of Public Safety and Attorney General Ken Paxton are waging to uphold the state's power to impose age restrictions on the purchase of firearms here. Now, that's what we're talking about. If we just won this court fight, why is the AG of Texas going against that court decision, which is a Pro 2A decision? This article is very legitimately footed, and there's a lot of fury about this. The furor stems from a summer decision by U.S. District Judge Mark Pittman, who found that the constitutional carry law the Texas legislature approved in 2021 is unconstitutional because it bars people between the ages of 18 to 20 from having handguns in the Lone Star State. Now, that was, like I said, that's the part where we were really excited about in the Pro 2A. There's two ways you can angle this, like I mentioned previously. You're either looking at this from a perspective of Ken Paxton has some hidden agenda that's going to further the Second Amendment across the board, or he's a traitor. Now, let's just analyze this from a perspective of 4D chess, okay? If you're looking at this from a 4D chess perspective and you're putting forward an appeal to get this up to the Fifth Circuit and then get up to the SCOTUS and then make this nationwide, it's one scenario. If that's the case, you're gambling a whole lot on the idea that the Fifth Circuit is going to do exactly what you think. They might be confident that they will, But then they're also putting a lot of faith in the fact that the SCOTUS will actually take up that decision. The big thing here is there's so many things that could go wrong as that 4D chess decision takes place. What if SCOTUS doesn't take it up? What if you're only going to the Fifth Circuit and nothing really happens? What if the Fifth Circuit says, yeah, you know what, you're right, and you've lost again on an appeal, and it backfires? There's a lot of things that could go wrong in the 4D chess perspective. Now, don't get me wrong. If this is a 4D chess move, and you're all of a sudden going to get 18 to 20-year-olds to have the rights for firearms nationwide, and this gamble pays off, congratulations, you're a genius. If this gamble does not pay off, congratulations, you're a traitor. Because then you're going into the option 1. And option 1 is you just appealed a pro 2A victory from the Second Amendment sanctuary state. It's not an actual sanctuary, but I mean like the Second Amendment pro 2A state of Texas. And now you're back at square one because you gambled with a victory. It's kind of like in poker when you're winning the small hand or you're in the stock market and you won a little victory and you have a little bit of money in capital. Do you keep it in there and become greedy and lose it all, or do you take your winnings and you run home with a little bit more money in your pocket? That's kind of where we're at. It's either you are a traitor against our cause, which would be extremely interesting and ironic. Again, doesn't make sense because everything in California right now is based off of your victories on the Second Amendment and sticking your finger in the eye of the California government. You've spawned off so many things that are pro 2A, and we've had to fight and defend against responses to your actions. It doesn't make sense. I can't find the why yet, and we'll find out more as the court documents become available. My initial reaction on this, I have serious questions. I'm going to reserve judgment until I actually see where this is going. I don't have a call to say it's traitorous or it's 4D chess. I see significant gambles and risks to both approaches, and I'm looking forward to finding more. But let me know what you guys think in the comments field below. What do you think of this? Is this a traitorous action, or is this a genius 4D chess move? I look forward to reading your comments, and I will see you in the next one. I'm Braden. See you later.